Ito na mga boss, kakapasok lang na balita. Grabe si VP Sara Duterte, natakot, binasahan na ng impeachment, inutusan ng prosecutor, kulong lahat ng abogado ni Duterte. Base sa impormasyong kumakalat ngayon sa social media, mismong si Congressman Rufus Rodriguez nang nagsalita na dapat nang isabpina ang mga abogado ni Sara Duterte para maparusahan din daw sila matapos nilang insultuhin si Attorney Congresswoman Jinky Luistro. Hindi daw nila kinikilalang jurisdiksyon ng Kongreso. Wala daw siyang karapatang maghatol kaya sa Senado na lang daw sila pupunta. Kaya ito, sabay-sabay nating panoorin kung paano si Vice President Sara Duterte grabe natakot, binasahan na ng impeachment, inutusan ng prosecutor, kulong lahat ng abogado ni Duterte. Tara, panoorin natin to.
If I was so disappointed by the answer, consolidated answer ad Coltellam, I am really totally dismayed by this letter sent by the lawyers. We have here 6 lawyers who has submitted a letter to the Honorable Chairperson, Jervil Luistro, that we have no jurisdiction to conduct this hearing, which they term as mini trial. Madam Chair, in the first page of the letter, March 24, 2026, it says, the Constitution vests the authority and power to conduct trial solely in the Senate. Clearly, what applies here is the constitutional provision that in the impeachment proceedings, we will have a hearing. It is not a trial. That is very much clear under our Constitution. They are citing here Section 3.8, Article 11 of the Constitution, the state shall have the sole power to try and decide all cases of impeachment. That is right. But we are governed not on the hearing by the Senate, but we are governed by the proceedings on impeaching to find out probable cause. Then, Madam Chair, in this letter, the second page, it says, the same, Article 3.2.11, the same does not give the committee any power or jurisdiction. Can you imagine that? How can they be able to support this allegation that the committee has no power or jurisdiction to conduct any form of trial? Mean or full-blown, because precisely we are not having a trial here on the merits, but only, Madam Chair, on a hearing to determine probable cause. And then, it also cites that it is basic that all rules must not contravene. We are not. The committee is not contravening the Constitution nor our rules or any law for that matter. And then finally it says, Madam Chair, that on the ground they're saying that we have no authority and jurisdiction on the ground that the committee and or the HOR as well as any of its members lack jurisdiction to conduct any form of trial or exercise of its incidents. Any law student would know that precisely our committee has the power to hear on finding probable cause by the 2 complaints where we found sufficiency in form, substance, and grounds. Therefore, I move that we issue an order traversing these particular erroneous allegations in this letter. Erroneous because they are the ones contravening the Constitution. The lawyers of the Vice President are the ones contravening our rules of impeachment. But then, in that letter, we invite them again to appear in the next hearing because we are always mindful of giving due process. So move, Mr. Chairman. Let us answer this by this committee. Second, we should answer that these are all erroneous and is not in compliance, is against the Constitution itself, which they are citing. And then be giving them due process. I am disappointed, Madam Chair. This is the chance of the Vice President. In their answer, they did not put forth. I thought it was a strategy that in the hearing, they'll be able to appear. Although, Madam Chair, I don't agree that we should have the Vice President appear here, but counsel should appear and be able to traverse all the 6 grounds of the 3rd complaint and the 5 grounds of the 5th complaint. So I move that we issue an order traversing this, saying that these are all erroneous and that they, in spite of their erroneous interpretation of the Constitution, they are invited to the next hearing if they so mind, because it's clear, our ground rules are clear, the lawyers are
May
able
we
to...
be clarified on
Yes.
the purpose of your motion of inviting the lawyers in relation to the letter that they sent to us?
Also that, and probably, but no, Madam Chair, very clearly, the letter has no basis in in law, on the Constitution, and our rules. We don't have to let them here to explain. I'm saying that we should be able to tell the lawyers that this is really a scrap of paper that they have submitted to this honorable committee. It's an insult to the committee if this is what they want. And so therefore, we have an order from the committee for them to tell them that they are wrong and that they are invited in the next hearing so that we continue to try to give due process to the Vice President, which we wanted precisely to have her side on these grounds. Thank you.
Your
So moved,
motion,
Madam Chair.
Honorable Rodriguez, is to invite the lawyers to answer to the committee about the erroneous impression that they're giving about the proceeding of the Justice Committee. Is that your motion?
No, not anymore. They have already stated this. What I'm saying is that we have an order denying this manifestation and putting our reasons why their letter dated March 24 has no basis in the Constitution, the rules, and the law. And then at the same time, invite them to attend the next hearing so that if they're minded,
We are
So same
inviting the
Yeah.
parties and the councils every time we have a hearing.
Chair. But in this case, they are saying that they do not recognize our jurisdiction. And so we're telling them that please come and recognize it because your premises here is totally unfounded and baseless. Thank you.
Right. So there is a motion to issue
Madam
an
Chair.
order
Madam Chair.
or an answer to the letter belying all the erroneous allegations contained in the letter of Fortuna Narvasa. Do I hear a second?
Madam Chair, amendment.
it is not, we do not answer. We order. So it will not be, the committee will not answering anybody.
Yeah.
It will be an order because we have the jurisdiction to order by stating that they have no basis and they are invited to appear.
Madam-
Thank you,
Madam
but
Chair.
it depends
There
on the
is a
chair.
motion to issue an order to the councils of the respondent to attend in our subsequent hearings because all their allegations are erroneous. I am
Amendment to
pertaining to the
motion.
letter sent by Fortuna Narvasa.
Amendment to the motion, Madam Chair.
The Honorable D.S. Puno is recognized.
Yes, may I recommend that in the manifest in the amendment that we state that this matter was discussed at this hearing and found to be defective and erroneous. So I think that those statements of Representative Rodriguez should be included in the order, and then the invitation. But I think we should make it clear that it was discussed, just so that it's not made to seem later on that it was dismissed without due deliberation here.
Madam Chair, may I?
Is
just,
this in relation
yeah,
also to
yeah.
the motion? The Honorable Zia
Yeah,
Alonto
before-
Adjong.
before we act on the motion, Madam Chair, just for the public consumption, because our kababayans are watching us right now, the order as proposed by Congressman Rufus Rodriguez should not be taken as something for this committee to treat the lawyers with an equal footing, because the legitimacy of this process does not rely on the acceptance or recognition of these lawyers, or anyone for that matter. We are exercising our constitutional duty to proceed with the investigation, with the hearing as we are conducting right now. Para po sa kaalaman ng karamihan, yung sinasabi po ni Congressman Rufus Rodriguez is not really in response to put them in the equal footing as though the lawyers and this committee is exchanging ideas or opinions. Because number one, hindi po nakasalalay ang integridad, ang proseso at legitimacy ng hearing na ito sa acknowledgement, recognition ng sino man or kanino mang parte, Madam Speaker.
Madam Chair, the letter was submitted
The Honorable D.S. Puno.
to the chairperson as chairman.
It
of
is
the-
addressed to the
addressed to the
chairperson,
chairperson
D.S.
as chairperson of the committee.
That's correct.
So I think at the very least we should manifest that this has been brought out to the members. It has been read by Representative Ridon, and it has been commented upon by Congressman Rufus Rodriguez, that does not make them and give them equal status with us. It merely tells them that we are fair, and we have taken this into consideration and actually found their manifestations and their letter to be defective in substance, no, in what
Madam
they
Chair.
allege.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Jokno.
Yes, I have some serious reservations about using the term order because it could be twisted and made to appear that we are acting like a court. I would agree that we should respond to the letter since it was addressed to the chair. Perhaps the chair could synthesize all of the discussions made today. And if I may add on that point, we are exercising a constitutional duty today and in succeeding hearings to conduct a hearing. And we have gone through all of the form and substance. We have already made the finding that there's sufficient ground to proceed with the impeachment proceedings. So what else do we have to do except to look at the evidence? Yan po yung tungkulin natin. And it was be clear to the public and to the lawyers of the Vice President that that is what we are doing today. Thank you.
So the suggestion of the Honorable Jokno is instead of an order of the committee, that the chairperson answer the letter of Fortuna Vasa. Let's hear the comment of the proponent, the Honorable Rodriguez.
Madam Chair, the issue has been brought to the committee. It's not anymore the letter is addressed to you, but precisely the issue has been discussed by the committee proper. And so it therefore should be an order, not a singular letter from the chairman, so that it is clear that that is the position of the committee, that we're ordering that they appear and that we are saying in that order that all their allegations, all their statements here are erroneous, have no basis in the Constitution, in law, and in fact. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other comment from the Honorable Jokno? Are you now amenable to the original motion of the Honorable Rodriguez?
I'm very concerned, Madam Chair, with the use of the word order because I anticipate that the councils, based on what I read in this letter, it would appear that they are looking for reasons to question the committee before the courts. And if we use that term, they can use it against us and say, see, you earlier you mentioned mini trial, now you are ordering us. And that will, then they can use that as a ground for questioning the committee. In fact, Madam Chair, they are entitled to their own opinion about what we are doing today. If they believe that we don't have jurisdiction, that's up to them. But I believe that we must just do our duty, fulfill what the Constitution commands, and hayaan na natin sila kung yan ang gusto nilang opinion. It's very clear from our discussion that we are not doing what they claim we are doing, that we are not going outside the jurisdiction, but rather following what the Constitution provides.
Chair, final point, Madam Chair.
To resolve the disparity between the motion of the Honorable Rodriguez and the suggestion of the Honorable Jokno, may we just release a letter in response to the letter of Fortuna Basa from the Justice Committee and not from the chairperson of the Justice Committee, if that would be acceptable to these two gentlemen.
First of all, just 2 points. First point, even in preliminary investigations, the prosecution orders clarificatory questions. Order does not mean that it will only come from the court or from the trial, the Senate, for example. Order is because we have jurisdiction. There is an order issued in preliminary investigation under the rules on criminal procedure that precisely order for there to appear to answer clarificatory questions by the prosecution. And so that fear of an order not being, it will cause some, comments from the other party. It's not to me, it's not very, at this point, it's not something that we cannot do. We have to therefore emphasize that as Committee on Justice is hearing. We are not having trials, but we are hearing for probable cause. And because they have sent this letter, which we find to be that they are not going to appear anymore because of no jurisdiction, an order requiring them to appear by stating also that their basis for not appearing, not recognizing the jurisdiction of this court has no basis in the Constitution, in law, and in fact. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I
Madam Chair.
understand that the argument of Honorable Jokno is predicated from the fact that we're being framed to be conducting a trial, when in fact this is just a clarificatory hearing. So for purposes of caution, no, in order not to give them any opportunity to place us in a wrong impression of not following the Constitution and the rules, I don't see anything wrong about answering instead of issuing an order, if that will be acceptable to the Honorable Rodriguez.
Madam Chair.
The Committee on Justice can respond to the letter in its capacity as the committee and not me as the chairperson.
Madam Chair, I always agree with the chair. Thank you.
Madam Chair. Madam
Same
Chair.
manifestation, Madam Chair. We agree.
Madam Chair. Madam
The
Chair,
Honorable
Madam Chair.
Tino.
Well, sumasang-ayon po ako sa naging resolusyon dun sa
And that is the letter of the Justice Committee.
Oo, particular dun sa hindi
Responding
nagagamitin ng...
point by point the erroneous allegations in the letter of Fortuna Narvasa.
Opo, na hindi nagagamitin yung salitang order, magpapadala ng sulat. Pero malinaw din po sa rules para lang i-put also on the record that the committee, according to the rules of procedure, that the committee shall have the power to issue compulsory processes for the attendance of witnesses and the production of documents and other related evidence. So just for the record, meron pa rin namang kapangyarihan
That is correct.
na mag-issue ng mga order, compulsory orders,
is correct.
ang committee ito. Yun lang po,
Just
Madam
because
Chair.
this is a formal proceeding, may I solicit the necessary motion pertaining to the answer
Chair.
which the committee will release in response to the Fortuna Narvasa letter?
Madam Chair,
Madam Chair. Madam
I
Chair.
defer to the position already expressed by the Honorable Chair with respect to just responding through a letter. But actually, my personal view is that we need not dignify that letter from the lawyer of
That's
the
another
respondent.
concern.
Yes, let's not dignify that. They're expressing their own position. It's not yet, it has to do, we can ignore that because it's wrong. It's erroneous. The position raised there is erroneous. And until and unless they really formally raise the matter, they formally raise the issue before this committee, then we need not rule on it. We need not issue anything. But I defer again. I defer to the position of the Honorable Chair and agreeing with the proposal of the Honorable Chair Jokno that we can only respond through a letter containing our arguments, our counter-arguments on the position expressed in that letter. But as I said, we can actually ignore that and let's not dignify that. Thank you.
To finally resolve our proper action in relation to the letter of Fortuna Narvasa, may I hear the necessary motion on the letter which the Committee on Justice will issue? If you are not in favor to answering that letter, then perhaps you should not vote in favor of this motion. Because Honorable De Lima is now arguing that we should not dignify with an answer the letter containing erroneous allegations about the jurisdiction of the Justice Committee.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable
Yeah, Madam
Adjong.
Chair, I was earlier, I was actually eager to second the motion of Congressman Rufus Rodriguez. But upon hearing the observation and the recommendation of Congresswoman De Lima, I think that would be much proper because earlier, Madam Chair, I was actually explaining to the committee that we should not give them any chance of maybe, attributing we're on the same standing or the same footing because this hearing does not rely on the acknowledgement or recognition of the lawyers from the law firm. So I guess it would be proper, I think so, for my own humble opinion, that we should not, again, if I may also use the statements of Congressman De Lima, dignify, and instead exercise this committee's mandate because we also have the options to either making them order, as cited, pwede tayo mag-issue ng mga orders pala, as cited by Congressman Tino. So I think it would be much proper because we can still, maintain the integrity of this committee by simply not giving too much attention to their, to the position of this law firm. So
For the guidance-
I would suggest that we take consideration of the suggestion of Congresswoman De Lima not to dignify this letter.
For the guidance
Wait lang mga boss, kung nakaabot na kayo sa part ng video na to, baka gusto nyo munang mag-subscribe sa bago nating YouTube channel. Doon na kasi tayo mag-a-upload ng mga reaction videos. Nakapin sa comment section ang link. I-click nyo lang para makapag-subscribe. Pag nakapag-subscribe na kayo, i-comment nyo lang ang location nyo para ma-shoutout ko kayo pag nag-upload na tayo doon ng video. Tara, tuloy na natin to.
of the Justice members, our parliamentary status, there was a motion to issue an order. The same has been withdrawn by the proponent, the Honorable Rodriguez, by his conformity to the chairperson. Now there is a pending suggestion about issuing a letter from the committee to address the erroneous allegations in the letter of Fortuna Narvasa. But we are hearing another opinion not to dignify with an answer the erroneous allegations in the letter of Fortuna Narvasa. If there will be no motion, then it will be perceived and interpreted as no action will be taken to the answer of Fortuna Narvasa letter. Therefore, the chair announces that the
Madam Chair.
committee will not take any action to the letter. Let it be so long as we are following the Constitution and the rules of impeachment of the House of Representatives. So ruled. Now we proceed to the next matter. Is it about the letter?
Yes,
It has been
Madam.
ruled
About
upon
the
Vice
motion.
Chair Dumogan.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We have a lot of things to discuss for today's hearing.
Well,
With
you
with
have
your
already
indulgence.
You have already rolled, but I was about to suggest, because the most important is the tenor of our letter. This, we can say, this.
We are not issuing a letter
Your-
because
this-
nobody moved
Yeah,
to issue a letter.
because there's some, despite your letter, we are inviting you to the next hearing. We can see it that way.
Nevertheless, the lawyers and the parties are always invited, notwithstanding the letters of non-appearance, notwithstanding the letter that they are not recognizing our jurisdiction.
My worry, Madam Chair, is if we do not also respond to that, in they are directly attacking us, it's not, to me, it's not good. Why can we not just say, despite your accusation, we are respectfully inviting you to the next
Madam Chair.
proceedings.
Now we proceed to the next matter. Earlier, the Honorable Redon is manifesting a letter received from Fortuna Narvasa Law Office. Now we recognize the Honorable Redon for that matter.
Madam Chair, the counsels of Vice President Sara Duterte, Fortuna Narvasa Salazar, and Attorney Michael Wesley Poa submitted a letter explaining the Vice President's absence today and their absence as well as counsels for the Vice President. And I will read the main basis for their objection to attending today. Under these circumstances and considering the public statements made by the chairperson, it appears that the committee intends to conduct a trial. I think, Madam Chair, the House Committee on Justice should confront this accusation squarely today. This particular position of the counsels and of the Vice President herself is basically a legal word salad. Ibig sabihin po, wala po itong batayan sa katotohanan. Ito po ay legal na pagpapalusot para lusutan na naman pong muli ang pagpapanagot sa mga impeachable offenses laban sa atin pong pangalawang Pangulo. Yung pong paggamit ng mini-trial ng ilan po sa mga kinatawan ng komite pong ito ay para lamang po sa pagpapaliwanag sa atin pong mga kababayan nung pong pagtakbo ng proseso po ng impeachment. Particular, ito pong hearing proper at more particularly to make a distinction from the actual trial which will happen at the Senate. No? So, tingin ko yun lang po yung malinaw po na distinction dito po sa bagay po na ito. And Madam Chair, there is nothing in the rules and the proceedings that we have today which can in fact be considered as unconstitutional. I will read for the record the rules yet again and the constitutional provision. The constitutional provision in Article 9, Accountability of Public Officers, Section 3, 2. A verified complaint for impeachment may be filed by any member of the House of Representatives or by a citizen upon a resolution of endorsement by any member thereof, which shall be included in the order of business within 10 session days and referred to the proper committee within 3 session days thereafter. The committee, after hearing, this hearing, Madam Chair, and by a majority vote of all its members, shall submit its report to the House within 60 session days from such referral, together with the corresponding resolution. That is the constitutional provision, Madam Chair. The rules of impeachment of the 20th Congress, Section 7, submission of evidence and memoranda. If the committee finds that sufficient grounds for impeachment exist, the committee shall conduct a hearing. This hearing, Madam Chair. The committee, through the chairperson, may limit the period of examination and cross-examination by members of the committee. The committee shall have the power to issue compulsory processes for the attendance of witnesses and the production of documents and other related evidence. These are particular provisions which guide the hearing proper today. And therefore, Madam Chair, hearing is mentioned in both the Constitution and the rules. This is the hearing proper that is mentioned in the Constitution and the rules. And part of hearing, any hearing, is the receipt of evidence. Ang sinasabi po ng mga abogado ng pangalawang Pangulo, wala daw pong karapatan ang komite pong ito sa yugtong ito na tumanggap po ng mga ebidensya. Pero alam po natin na sa mga pagdinig, bahagi po ng mga pagdinig ang pagkuha po ng mga ebidensya. Make no mistake, Madam Chair, the committee will fulfill its constitutional mandate to conduct hearings in the context of impeachment. More importantly, make no mistake, we will receive evidence during these hearings. The subpoenas of all the witnesses and documents will be issued. The subpoenas on the audit reports and congressional records will be issued. The subpoenas on the SALNs, on the bank records, on the tax documents, on the businesses' corporate records.
Proceeding before the Justice Committee and the trial which will happen in the Senate. Let us always be reminded that our parameter in our hearing proper is the determination of probable cause only, which means the justification to be able to proceed to trial. Again, we are not yet determining the guilt. We are not holding trial. This is just a clarificatory hearing for the purpose of determining probable cause, which will allow us to proceed to trial in the Senate.
Madam Chair.
That is for the record. The
Madam
Honorable
Chair.
Ko.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, a comment.
The Honorable Ko and then the Honorable D.S. Puno.
Madam Chair, also for the record, there is a statement released by the Office of the Vice President, no, echoing the parts of the letter issued by counsel, and again using the word quote unquote mini trial. Madam Chair, on the record, I'd like to contest, no, and express my grievance on the use of the word mini trial. What is happening on the floor, Madam Chair, is determination of probable cause. It is a different, no, proceeding that if you also provide equivalence in how we do this in the judicial proceedings, clear naman po ang distinction ng ginagawa ng Office of the Prosecutor. And kapag nahanap na po yung probable cause na yon, magpo-proceed na po sa trial sa korte. For me, Madam Chair, it is irresponsible to muddy legal concepts so as to create a reason para po hindi mag-appear and even defeat the capabilities of this committee to talk about evidence, pleadings that is provided and may avenue naman na pinapadaloy under our House rules. So, Madam Chair, I'd just like to put on the record yung grievance on the use of the word mini-trial. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The Honorable D.S. Puno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I refer back to the comment earlier by Congressman Diokno, which I think is very important, that we try to be sensitive to any actions that the committee takes that might open us to questioning on the higher judicial levels. We are in a hearing today. Hearings usually result in committee reports. Committee reports that will not have a judgment, that will not have any statement on the true veracity of any evidence that is presented here, because that is the work and job of the Senate, in my belief. No? So the final report that comes out is not a decision, it is not a judgment, it is a committee report that is forwarded to the Senate and recommending a trial. So I believe that that the distinction between whether we are having a trial or not should begin there. And that is where we should rest it, not on the dictionary meaning of trial and so on and so forth. So the use of these terms, while sometimes unfortunate, does not result in nullifying the importance of these proceedings. So even the evidence that we review here, we will examine so that we do not send to the Senate meaningless evidence. It must be evidence that is germane to the complaints that have been filed, and it must be evidence that we have verified to be real facts and not just allegations, not just versions of the truth, but something that we all know is actually the truth, because why would we send it to the Senate if we do not believe that that is the case? So I believe that if we clarify this in the course of our proceedings, that we are not judging any testimony, but merely verifying it for purposes of accuracy, relevance to the complaint that has been filed, and so on, and come out with a committee report in that manner, I don't think that this committee can be accused of conducting a trial, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable De Lima first, and then the Honorable Rodriguez. Rodriguez George.
Yes, Madam Chair, just a brief reaction to the manifestation of the Honorable Representative Puno. Just to be very clear, what will be transmitted to the Senate is not the committee report. What is to be transmitted to the Senate is the articles of impeachment already. The committee report from this committee will be transmitted to the NBank for consideration of the recommendation, for the consideration and approval of the recommendation of this committee, whether probable cause exists or not. So let's just be very clear about it. And Madam Chair, I noticed that the ground rules, the guidelines distributed to us does not yet reflect the amendment. So if we can have, please, the
The
copy
committee
reflecting-
secretary is directed to reflect or include the amendment that was approved already in the approved ground rules.
Thank you.
Are you finished with your manifestation, Honorable De Lima?
Madam Chair, another point. Can we have a confirmation from the committee secretariat that indeed respondent Sara Duterte and her counsels were duly notified of today's proceedings? Second, if so, is there any communication or anything, a pleading, a communication filed or submitted to the committee secretariat saying categorically that they are not appearing in today's hearing or in today's proceedings? Well, and another question is there also any communication or any submission made from their camp explaining the absence of Respondent Zara Duterte? Because aside from the letter put on record by the Honorable Terry Ridon about questioning the proceedings under the erroneous premise that what is being conducted here is trial on the merits, there has been statements, pahayag, from Sara Duterte. I think this was circulated already to media. Let me just point out one important statement here. It's a pahayag from the Vice President of the Philippines, Sara Duterte, dated today, March 25. The second to the last paragraph says, naisumite ko na ang aking answer ad cautelam. Sa ngayon, wala nang dapat pang gawin ng komite, kundi ibasura ang mga reklamo dahil sa malinaw na kakulangan ng ebidensya. Is this an indication clear enough that she is waiving her right to participate in our proceedings? So I just wish to have that confirmation of the committee secretariat as to whether there's been any formal communication saying that they will not, whether she or by her counsel, will not participate in the proceedings before this committee henceforth.
The committee secretariat is directed to report to the committee the fact of having sent the notice of today's hearing to the respondent and whether there is a communication or a document filed in relation to that invitation, as well as the same letter which was earlier manifested by the Honorable Ridon. And if there are any other documents received from the respondent, the committee secretariat is likewise directed to report to the committee. Let's begin with the notice sent to the respondent. Comsec, please.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. The invitation for Vice President Sara Duterte to attend today's initial hearing was sent by electronic mail on March 19, 2026 at 10:25 a.m. It was acknowledged by, it was received March 19, 2026, 12:34 and acknowledged by the Central Records Unit of the Office of the Vice President. The invitation for two Narvasa and Salazar, counsel for Vice President Sara Duterte to attend today's meeting was emailed on March 19, 2026, 10:21 a.m., received March 19, 2026, 1:45 p.m., acknowledged by Fortune Narvasa Salazar. As far as any communication from the Office of the Vice President manifesting that she will not attend today's initial hearing, the only communication we received with respect to that is the letter from her counsel, Fortune Narvasa and Salazar. That's all, Your Honor.
Any comment from the Honorable De Lima?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's very unfortunate that the respondent herself is disrespecting the proceedings before this committee. At the very least, she should have manifested formally that she will not be appearing before this committee, and rather than just issuing statements before the media. Because that letter submitted by her counsel, the Fortune Law Office, is not yet very clear there. Are they appearing or not? Show respect. They cannot just assume that this is going to be a trial, because it's already clarified that it is not full-blown trial. This is not trial on the merits, but simply akin to preliminary investigation. With, of course, right to counsel, right to appear, right to assist the clients, and right to submit clarificatory questions to the Honorable Chair. So this is disrespect, another manifestation of her affront the constitutional process. I remember what the Honorable Chair cited earlier in her opening remarks. There's this quote from former Supreme Court Justice, I think it's Noel Tiham, not Antonio Tiham, as stated earlier, about the fact that failure to appear, failure to participate in the impeachment proceedings, it's itself a betrayal of public trust, because this is a formal constitutional process that everyone is expected to respect, especially the parties like the respondents. So it is very unfortunate that we have this mindset again, this attitude on the part of the respondent, showing disrespect and affront to the constitutional process of impeachment. Thank you.
Ngayon, ikaw bilang Pilipino, ano ang masasabi mo at reaksyon sa balitang ito? Mag-iwan ka ng komento mo sa ibaba at atin pong babasahin isa-isa.